if you want to be a leader, if you want to be impactful, you must gather mastery and then professionalism. So where does mastery comes from? We've heard of the 10,000 hours.
Yes.
Mastery comes from willing to commit time to acquire the skill, refine the skill, and then master the skill.
Wow.
So you can't do that without discipline.
Hey everybody, my name is Angie Murenga. You're watching Just Angie. It's Lifestyle Thursday, and have been having this amazing conversation with Loise about Adira Network and developing a program. And it's about also stepping out, stepping out in faith. And it's amazing because this is January. So what is the Lord calling you to do? Just do it. So you were saying?
You mentioned the word discipline.
Yes.
So let me talk about discipline and consistency.
Very important.
Leadership is about, I'm currently reading the 5 a.m. Club, Robin Sharma.
Okay.
And
I've heard Jane quoting it a lot.
And the book talks about, so there are two things he talks about. I can't remember the second one, but the first one is about mastery. If you want to be a leader, if you want to be impactful, you must gather mastery and then professionalism. So where does mastery comes from? We've heard of the 10,000 hours.
Yes.
Mastery comes from willing to commit time to acquire the skill, refine the skill, and then master the skill.
Wow.
So you can't do that without discipline.
Yeah.
Eliud Kipchoge, one of my favorite quotes from him, he says something about, let me paraphrase it. He talks about if you are a person who responds to emotions and moods, you will not be able to achieve success. Success requires discipline. So every time I think about, even myself, when I'm not in a mood to do something, when I don't feel like doing this, I ask myself, for him to be the world champion, it means he has to wake up and do something at a time he doesn't feel like doing. So leadership is about mastery. And then number two is about consistency.
Consistency is so key.
And that's what defines even brands. That's what defines leaders. When you show up, when you want to quote a price, that the value of that price, what people don't realize, the value of the price is based on, we say the brand, but the thing behind the brand is the consistency of the brand. So it's in little things. So this year, what I would want to challenge people is start by little things. And I will refer to the 5 a.m. again, because our days are determined by how we start our days. So start with the little things. How do you wake up? What time do you wake up? What do you do from the time you wake up to the time you leave your house? That's a 10 minutes of exercise, because we're talking lifestyle. 10 minutes of just doing push-up. 10 minutes of getting out of the house and going up your stairs. You don't even have to go run outside there. Just 10 minutes of doing that. 10 minutes of reading the Bible. Or even hearing, I tell people, so you jab, what are you on your earphones? What are you listening to? That's what it will do two things. It will help you improve your mastery if you are learning new skills, but it will also then help you develop consistency. So when it's time to produce, you're producing from a place of mastery.
And one of the tests, I've seen so many things even in this country. Things start and stop, stop. Because you're consistently starting. Today you start a prayer line, tomorrow you start this, tomorrow you do this. But you're always picking things and not completing them. But you must complete them, and then you must keep doing them. So you do them whether you feel like it or not. You just keep, it becomes a discipline, and it becomes consistent, and you just keep doing it. Because I remember even talking once, I think, to Paul Tergat, and even like athletes, I'm sure there are days, I asked him whether there are days when he feels like, I don't want to do this thing. And I'm sure they are, because he's a human being. So you wake up and you're like, I can't believe this. I've got to run again. I think he said he runs 15 kilometers when he's doing a race, 30 when he's just 15, when he's just every day, then 30 now when he's doing a race. So there are days they don't want to go, and it's any athlete, a swimmer, a weightlifter, somebody who's even trying to just consistently keep the weight off their body. You just do it. You just have to. There's no discussion about it. But I think consistency is key, and that's good, because we're in the beginning of the year where people set resolutions in January, but by March, disappears in a cloud of smoke.
So
it's trying to get that. And I like the other day, somebody said that you also have to preempt your obstacles. So what we're trying to say is, even by this, by discipline and consistency, preempt your obstacles. We're saying that in 2 or 3 months, if this is the time when you're saying, yes, we all have great plans, then if 3 months is when it begins to wane, preempt that obstacle and create something that's going to counter that obstacle, so that it's like a hurdle that you can jump over, instead of waiting to get there. What is it? And for me, one of the leaders ask me, they stop me and they ask me questions. But the key thing for consistency for me and great leadership is accountability. You're going to have to tell someone.
You must have an accountability partner.
You tell this person, by the time we get to March, you need to be checking on me, you need to check whether I'm doing this thing, and it doesn't matter whether you get annoyed or you don't get annoyed, or I get annoyed. Just preempt the obstacle. What's going to be the obstacle that's going to stop you from continuing that consistent behavior? Because that consistent behavior develops.
4 things around that. Number 1, when you're setting a goal, you must ask yourself, on a scale of 1 to 10, how much do I want to achieve this? So if it's a 10, it means you must be willing then to put in what is required. Then you ask yourself, what resources do I require? And then, like you said, what obstacles am I likely to encounter? And how will I overcome these obstacles? And then, who is my accountability partner? Because like you said, in M&E monitoring and evaluation, we say if it's not measured, it won't get done. So you have to have that accountability partner. And you must be able, and for example, there's a template I usually share with people about goal setting. When you've written the resources required, it's both human resources, financial resources, and non-financial resources. And then you have to put a timeline. When will I be doing this? So is it 2 hours in the morning? Is it 30 minutes a day? Is it 10 minutes a day? It's simple things like at lunchtime, I want to block so I have my lunchtime is 1 to 2. But for the first 10 minutes of 1, I do this. Then the next, I eat for 30. Then the next 10, I do this and this and this. And make sure that you're following through that. When you're talking about showing up, I remembered. So when I run the classes, because I have a team of facilitators, but there are sessions where I facilitate myself. And then even when I'm not facilitating, I still have to show up in class. So I remember there was a cohort that was starting, the day the class was starting, I had come from a funeral service. And it had been a very emotionally heavy day for me. I lost someone the year before, and I'd never been to a funeral until that day. So during service, I broke down. I was just a mess. And then when I left, I started wondering, do I cancel this class? How do I go to this class? And emotionally, I was not at my A game. But I have to show up.
That's the thing.
I can't cancel the class. You have
to show up.
I have to show up.
And show up fully. You can't even show up halfway. You have to show up fully.
And that's the other thing about leadership that I think it was Ellen Johnson, the former president of Liberia. There was a time she said something about leadership is not about self. If you were to stop and think about yourself and your comfort, you cannot lead. So leadership is about, and I think even when you think about Christ, he set himself aside for us. That's what leadership is about. So we have to, I guess the conversation about leading self, being aware, but also being able to have the discipline that even when you don't feel like, you must show up for others. And it's doable.
And that's the lifestyle that's going to be required this year, I think. And just moving forward is that you show up, you bring your A game, you show up fully, you execute fully, whether you feel like it or not. You cannot be led by your feelings. There has to be discipline and there has to be consistency. God bless you. Bye-bye.